The Turtle Room. Education, conservation, survival.
What's up? This is Anthony from the Turtle Room, and I'm excited to show you guys my crib. We're gonna do something a little bit like MTV Cribs here, and I assume it'll be something like the Red Man episode, where people are not that impressed by the crib itself, but hopefully by my personality, because I think that's all I've got. I obviously don't have the looks either. But come on in, check it out. Okay, now watch your head coming down here. Okay, it's a little bit of a tight squeeze.
Yes. Zoe, come on. Zoe,
And here we are, my man cave, where I feel daily like a big man because I can't stand up straight.
Zoe.
So there you go. I really like this thing. This is from a book from like 1700. Sea tortoise that you see on the other side, those are dragons. So like in natural history books, you know, just a few hundred years ago, they have dragons in there, like they're actual animals. So I have these bins of basically like Ziploc container lids, and this is what I feed them on. So I have to sit here and think about what animals I have out there and who's going to eat off of what lid. So between all the different enclosures and all the animals that are kept separately and stuff like that, it could end up being like 20 or 30 different meals, and everyone eats a different, every species eats a different diet. So some, maybe a quarter of the species will eat dandelion today, some of those will have some chicory added into that, some won't eat any greens at all, some won't eat any vegetables at all because I have a pumpkin and squash puree mixture as well. So it just depends. Every species is different, and trying to figure out what's what. Yeah, so I added some water to the turtle and tortoise pellets to soften them, because when I feed these guys, they're going to get. They're not gonna. I'm not gonna pour water on everything, because for like the pureed vegetables, then it'll wash it all out and make a mess everywhere and make everything nasty. So the spider tortoises will get this dandelion. Leave that whole for them. They usually like this stuff better anyway, but they will eat so I'll give them some tortoise chow and some pumpkin. And sweet potato. And their diet changes throughout the year. So I'm getting to the end of the year where I won't be giving them this pumpkin anymore. It's more of a summer thing, or not the pumpkin, the sweet potato. It's more of a summer thing. They're usually in the fall, and obviously we're getting into winter now. But they'll eat more like dried leaves and things like that, and then they go dormant for 6 months and they don't eat anything. But I usually give them a bath and wake them up every week or two, just to make sure they're not losing too much weight, and to see if I can get them to eat. So those guys haven't even had their bath yet, so I won't feed them until after their bath, so I'll just put this off to the side. This chicken I've been saving for several of the species, so if depending on how much I have, it can go to the aquatics. I usually go like in order of who needs it most. So I have the small Spangler eye. I want to make sure that they get a balanced diet. So they'll probably be the preference. Then animals like the japonica, the galbinifrons, will probably also get this. Then the flavos, the Chinese box turtles, we'll probably have some as well. So mostly in the wild, the Spangler eye will eat a lot of invertebrates. And the difficulty with feeding them in captivity is they do prefer invertebrates, but you need to get them like a balanced diet, and a lot of the invertebrates will not have like the nutritional content that the bugs in the wild that would be encountering would have. So we just really try to mix it up. So if we're going with like worms or crickets, things like that, we'll try to dust them, and then I will try to mix in lean protein as well here and there, in addition to pellets and fruit. They're also eating fallen fruit in the wild. Most turtles are opportunistic scavengers, and they'll eat what they can kind of get their paws on, but a lot of people in captivity struggle in providing a balanced diet. So that's something that I strive for a lot, and I'll give them tough love a lot too. So if they just want worms, then they're definitely not getting just worms, and I'll actually stop giving them worms altogether. And if they have to starve for 3 weeks, then they'll starve for 3 weeks. So, and actually, there's a very good chance that they don't like some of the things in here, but when they're hungry enough, they'll eat it all. And even if they try to pick through it and just eat what they like, they'll still get some of what they don't like. So I like giving them, if they don't like pumpkin and sweet potato, there's benefits to eating it. So I'm still going to give it to them. And then, I'll have days where I just feed them invertebrates too, where I'll just give them some worms and I'll dust those or whatever. And those are usually their favorite days, a lot of these species. But they're getting pumpkin, sweet potato, calcium powder, vitamin powder, tortoise pellets, turtle pellets, chicken, strawberries, portobello mushroom, and raspberries. That's a pretty substantial variety, just to try to keep them healthy. And when they're eating like that, you don't really need to give them the invertebrates as much. Obviously, I'm down here several times a day, every day, no matter what. There might be a day here or there where I'm not able to get down in the evening or something like that, but I'm here usually feeding them, going through the whole process, preparing all the food, like their own sous-chef, usually twice a week. And usually, I'm feeding aquatics and stuff like that more often than that usually, but on those days I'm down here twice. So several times a week I'm down here 2 times where I'm doing substantial amount of work because I have to prepare the food and then also come back down and clean the food. I'm also doing dishes down here every day, so it's a lot of, and I'm also watering them every day as well. So a lot of the terrestrial species need their water dishes changed, they need the plants in their enclosures watered, and they need, to have a humid environment. So in order to provide that, you're needing to kind of water the enclosure a little bit as well, spray them down or water the plants, things like that. Yeah, the difficult thing about on these days when you feed them is you provide all this food and a lot of it, that the animals really like, but the bugs also really like them. So not only do you have to spend, a substantial amount of time down here early in the day to feed them and then give them the rest of the day to eat, but then you have to get down there before the lights turn off to make sure you're not leaving behind too much of the nasty food that gets in the substrate and stuff like that. It can be really gross. So it's even more work.
For more information on this and other exciting Colonian species, visit theTurtleRoom.com.